Today we're going to go through how to become successful without motivation. The biggest problem that I see with most people who are trying to be good at a certain endeavor or are pursuing anything of relative importance is that they're so easily swayed by their emotions and how they feel. Oh, I'm not feeling 100%. Oh, I'm feeling a bit tired. Oh, my desk isn't the perfect height. The sun's too bright, the night's too dark. And if you're someone that can only do the thing that you're supposed to do when you're motivated or you're feeling 100%, then you're never really going to make any progress because motivation is not always going to be there. Because motivation in itself is fleeting. Say you're like a chubby bloke and then you watch, I don't know, Ziz The Legacy or something, and you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna lose so much weight, all the girls are gonna come to me, everyone's gonna see me and they're gonna kiss my feet, and I'm gonna really, follow my diet and lift like 6 days a week, train 5 days a week.
I train 6 days, actually 6 days a week, 5 days a week, I'll train 3 days a week. One of those days I will train 2 days of the week, so 6 days a week I'll be training.
That initial motivation that you get when you first start something, that's probably gonna be there for like a week max. I'm not saying that you're not going to get excited. I'm just saying that, that feeling when you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this thing. Like you're really you're so amped up, you're really fired up, and then you feel like you can just literally run through walls. You're just not going to have that forever. So how do we fix this? So instead of relying on motivation, which I've already mentioned is unreliable by nature, I want to introduce a mindset which I call turning pro, which is something that I've read from the book, The Art of War, The War of Art, by Steven Pressfield. I always get confused, potato. Turning pro. Pressfield introduces the concept of turning pro as a transformative mindset shift. When we turn pro, we make a commitment to our creative endeavors, embracing them as a way of life. This shift involves taking responsibility for our actions, adopting a professional attitude, and dedicating ourselves to the pursuit of mastery. Turning pro means letting go of amateurish habits and fully engaging in the creative process, regardless of the external validation or rewards. Being a professional means showing up every day, committing to the work and treating it with the utmost respect. Whether you're a writer, artist, or musician, treating your craft as a profession and adhering to a regular schedule enables you to build momentum and make consistent progress. It is through disciplined action that we overcome resistance and create meaningful work. Keyword, build momentum and make consistent progress. Which is also the reason why we can't rely on motivation, because it's not always going to be there. And by extension, if you can only act when you're motivated, you're not going to make progress because you need momentum to make consistent progress. But how can you build momentum if you can't act on it? Because like I said, motivation is not there every day. See what I mean? You just go around in circles. I also read a Reddit post from the other night, which is, if you are tired, then do it tired, which is also another mindset shift of, just because you're not 100% doesn't mean you shouldn't do the thing that you're supposed to do. If you're tired, then do it tired. This single quote has made a massive impact in getting myself to not be a bitch and make dumb excuses anymore. I used to find any way possible to avoid responsibilities and goals, whether I was sick, had a bad day, or I didn't feel right, or whatever lousy reason I could find. It doesn't matter if I'm tired, just fucking do it tired. Stay hard. Love it. Okay, now that we have the mindset shift in place, how do we then break this down into actionable steps? Let's say you've identified your goal. You want to be a professional climber, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be an athlete, you want to be a stripper, whatever the goal is, okay? The first thing that you should do is you should remove everything that can potentially deviate from the goal. And for me, this is pretty much roughly the same regardless of the endeavor. Why are you breathing so hard? What's wrong? What's up? Yo. Let me finish the video and we'll go cuddle. Why are you breathing so hard? The things that deviate you from the goal is pretty much roughly the same across the board. So that's social media, bad food, shit. Social media, bad food, shit friends, alcohol, going out. A big part of why people don't stay consistent with what they're trying to pursue, it's not really always down to, oh, this guy's lazy. I mean, sometimes that is sort of like the big reason, but another part of that is there's so many things that's pulling their attention away from the thing that they're trying to do, that it kind of feels like there's like a mental gymnastics battle of, yes, I do want to go to the gym, but then I kind of would rather do X. So for example, let's say it's 5 p.m, you want to go to the gym, but then you know that the latest episode of, I don't know, Married at First Sight just came out, and you're like, you know what, that would be really nice to watch, but I do have to go to the gym. And then just the fact that your attention was slightly pulled by the thought of watching that episode, there's like a mental battle going on where it's like, you know what, I know I should go to the gym, but that episode's really juicy. And then you're like, you know what, my shoulder that really hurt yesterday, I think I do need to rest. So it's kind of like you're trying to justify not going to the gym because there's this other thing that's pulling your attention away. And the point of obviously me saying just remove anything that could potentially deviate you from the plan is the fact that if that wasn't there to begin with, you wouldn't have this thought and you would have just gone to the gym. So why not make it easier for yourself just by removing everything that can potentially deviate you from the thing that you're supposed to do? You know, just make it simpler. It's the same concept of, you know what, if you don't want to cheat on your diet, then don't have junk food in the cupboard, you know? Don't have fucking Twinkies and Pop-Tarts and Nutella in your cupboard. Just chuck it away, you know? Out of sight, out of mind, which is also the concept of what I'm trying to say. It's like, if it's possibly gonna deviate you from the thing that you're gonna do, just get rid of it. So me, for example, I don't have social media. I don't have a couch. Okay, that one, I don't have a couch, but I should buy a couch. Like if you look here, I don't have a couch. It's just like empty. So all I literally do is fucking go to work, build my YouTube channel, study jiu-jitsu, pretty fucking boring stuff. But essentially, I've eliminated most of the things that's probably gonna stop me from doing the thing that's most important to me, which is at the moment building my YouTube channel, going to my job, which I do really, really like as well, and studying jiu-jitsu. So yep, number one, anything that can potentially deviate you from the plan, get rid of it. And I can guarantee you, you already know what that is. I know when I said remove anything that deviates you from the plan, there would have been something that popped in your mind and be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. So that's number one. Second one is schedule when you're gonna do the thing that you're supposed to do. Schedule it. A big problem for people is that they're so vague on when and what time they're gonna do the thing that they're supposed to do, that in itself actually becomes a hurdle. Because okay, let's say you wake up on a Monday morning and you're like, okay, fuck, should I go to the gym before work? Should I do it after work? Actually, if it's after work, should I do it before I have dinner, or should I do it after dinner? But then if I go after dinner, it's gonna be too late. And what if I'm a bit full? But then what if I'm really tired before dinner? A good way to eliminate, you know, the hurdle of having to decide when you're gonna do the thing is just scheduling your week in advance. Me, for example, I like to do my scheduling on a Sunday. So Sunday morning, afternoon, I write down my schedule for the week coming. So, which is pretty much roughly the same. So I go to work, you know, 8 to 5 from Monday to Friday. There's always some sort of jiu-jitsu or gym before work or after work. So I've literally eliminated me having to decide when I'm gonna do what thing. So say for example, it's a Monday, I wake up, I look at it, I'm like, okay, yep, 8 a.m. I go to work, 7 a.m. I have food. I wake up at 6 a.m. and then before I eat in the morning or before I go to work, I work on my YouTube channel. So it makes things more seamless. So do yourself a favor. You know, you can do a weekly thing, you can do a daily thing. I think Elon Musk or something, I think he does it every 30 minutes or something like that. Like he looks at his day, he goes, okay, the next hour I'm gonna do this. And then once he does that, he goes, okay, the next hour I'm gonna do this or something like that. But always try to schedule your thing and don't leave you doing the thing that you're supposed to do to chance. Because chances are, if you don't write things down, if you don't follow, I guess, a schedule, then when it comes time to actually doing the thing that you're gonna do, you're not gonna be able to do it because you're more than likely gonna gravitate to the thing that doesn't have a lot of resistance. And that's usually, you know, going on your phone, going TikTok, going on Instagram Reels, watching a movie. But if you had a schedule, then you would just follow it. So that's the second one, set a schedule. Do yourself a favor, set a schedule. All right, and the third one is do it for at least 12 months, especially if it's like, I don't know, like a new endeavor that you're doing, whether that's entrepreneurship, starting a YouTube channel, flipping items on Facebook Marketplace, any endeavor that you're starting, give it a good crack for at least 12 months. Like, I feel like some people, they get caught in this shiny object syndrome that if they don't see results in the endeavor that they've chosen after like 3 months, they're like, you know what? this shit doesn't work, so I'm gonna try something else. When had you just been consistent on the thing that you've chosen, after 12 months, more than likely you would have been successful. Granted, you've actually, try to hone your craft, try to be better at it, constantly making progress and doing iterations on things that you can do better. So, yep, I guess there's really no need for me to kind of go over why I do it for 12 months. It's just nice to be consistent with one thing or a couple of things max. Because to achieve mastery, you need to put in serious time and effort into the thing that you've chosen to pursue. So that's how you succeed without motivation. You build systems and processes to make it hard for yourself not to succeed. Hope you guys liked the video. Comment down below on what you want to see next, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.